And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's Friday afternoon. We figured we'd do a little bit different here and go with covers that are equal to or better than the original. So that's what we're doing today. Here with Glen Kellaway from the basement, Brian from Massey's Maine Entertainment, Randall Nelson. Uh, any genre or any era, anything that's been covered, and you think the cover version is as good or better. That's what we're doing. Ranking them 10 down to 1. Pretty snap, easy list for me, but I'm sure we'll have a bunch of different stuff along the way from a bunch of different artists. So let's, in order today, we're going to go with Brian, Randy, Glenn, and me. So, Brian, kick it off. What do you have at number 10?
I try to have a nice, diverse list. First off, let me preface this one by saying any cover of this artist's material is always better than this artist's material. So I've got Suspicious Minds by Dwight Yoakam in lieu of our boy Elvis Presley. So I think it's an absolute, it's a banging track, guys. Dwight does it great. That little Bakersfield, Nashville sound. I love it. I love that. I love the guitar work in it. I think it's great. So
I'll tell you what, I listened to that most of that Dwight Yoakam cover album he did a few years ago, and he's a pretty good artist, man. He covers a lot. He's covered Sonny and Cher and Elvis and a bunch of different people. That's cool. Good pick. All right, Randy, what do you have?
I will say I do like Dwight's cover, but that's my second favorite Elvis song.
Yeah, I'm a big Elvis.
I gotta say, there's something about that Elvis song that's good. That is a good Elvis song.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first one I had, I actually bought props. It's from this guy Warren Zevon. He does a cover of "Back in the High Life," the Stevie Winwood tune.
Oh, wow.
The lyrics by Will Jennings. The Stevie Winwood song came out in '87. The single did, but he really slows it down and kind of makes it like it's a struggle. But I really like the way Warren Zevon does it on this album right here.
That's
interesting.
I didn't even know.
Check that out.
Yeah, I don't have that album.
What's the name of that album, Randy?
Life Will Kill You, and that's one of my favorite later Zevon albums too. This is the other one I was talking about. This is a song about aging. I mean, an album about aging
that's
too.
What you were thinking of,
yeah. Which he unfortunately Warren never got to do.
Is that the one that has "Don't Let Us Get Sick" on it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song. That's a beautiful
song. I love that song, man.
Yeah. Okay, my number 10 might be a bit obscure. It's an instrumental of a classic Patsy Cline song, "Sweet Dreams."
Ooh.
One of the great guitar players of all time, Roy Buchanan, on his first debut album, self-titled "Sweet Dreams." Just if you've never heard this instrumental, it's absolutely bring tears to your eyes. It's absolutely beautiful.
And I like that Patsy Cline song too. Very nice. My number 10, I went with the Talking Heads, "Take Me to the River." I like it better than the Al Green version.
Wow.
For me, it's classic Talking Heads, David Byrne, the whole.
Yeah, they made it their own, eh?
They made it their own, and that's what I appreciate about it is they took a song that was more of a soul song, I guess, or gospel, and made it their own with their own new wave style, and that's why it's on the list, number 10.
Nice.
I didn't even know the same song until today.
All right, back to Brian.
Number 9. I've got The Clash, "I Fought the Law."
Ooh.
Better than the original version done by Bobby Fuller's 4.
Ouch.
I love The Clash, and I like Rich just said, I like artists who go out there and put their stamp on it. Whether no matter what people are going to think, as long as it's their style and their stamp, I think that's what makes cover songs good. Not when you go out there and try to do it straight up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this one I like the Bobby Fuller too, but I love the Clash version. They're both really good, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think on all the ones I have, I like the original just as well.
Okay.
But there's a few that I like the the cover more. And the next one is one of those, and it's going to be sacrilegious to some people. I like Alison Krauss version of "I Will" better than Paul McCartney.
Oh,
How did I forget that? It's incredible.
She's got this angelic voice, and the picking on she's on the banjo on this one.
No, Tony Furtado is the banjo player on that.
Tony
And
Furtado.
actually, originally,
That's right.
was she guested on Tony Furtado's album.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I forgot.
The album is called Within Reach. I'm a huge Tony Furtado fan, and then it was on that compilation.
Yeah, because when I looked it up, it wasn't on one of her albums. Yeah, you're right. It was on the Tony Furtado. That's right.
Yeah.
wow.
Great artist, by the way.
All
Wow.
Ready to bring some heat early, though.
You blew me away with that pick. Why it's not on my list, I have no idea. One of my favorite covers of all time. Man, as a matter of fact, my daughter has asked me to learn that on the banjo to play at her wedding. She wants that as a wedding song, so I'm trying to figure it out. It's a bit complicated. My number 9. It's an obvious one, but I got to go with it because it's just the definition of someone making a song their own. It's really hard to do a Beatles cover, but Joe Cocker's version of "With a Little Help from My Friends" has got to be a top 10 on everybody's list if you're looking at the greatest covers of all time. But this happens to be a favorite of mine as well. And just phenomenal what he did with this song.
Yeah, it's going to be really high on my list. I have it as well. But my number 9 is, speaking of Warren Zevon, this is Linda Ronstadt doing Warren Zevon's Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Warren's version. I'm not going to rip it, but I like Linda telling it from the female perspective. That, and her voice is killer. And I like the band she has behind her with Waddy Wachtel on the guitar and the whole gang. So this, I think it's a great cover. And I don't want to disparage Warren Zevon because he wrote the song.
Oh no, it's great.
He does a tremendous job on his own original, but I'm a Linda Ronstadt fan. I wanted to give her one cover on my list because she does so many covers.
Oh, so many great ones.
So that's my number 9.
Nice.
Good choice. Good pick.
Okay, I'm going to bring some heat again on number 8 here. I've got Green Day doing "Working Class Hero" for the Darfur.
Really?
The Money Raiser that they did for Darfur. It is incredible. They put their stamp on it. I prefer it to John Lennon's version.
No.
Although they interpolate his voice at the beginning and the end of the song, you can hear that they actually mixed his voice in with when they're singing as well. I think their cover is incredible. You guys should check it out.
I've never heard it. I have to hear that because I love John Lennon's version. It's one of my favorite Lennon tunes.
Wow. Awesome.
That's an interesting pick. I'll have to check it out.
Very interesting pick. Okay, my number 8.
Well, Randy.
Randy. Sorry. Wake up, Randy. Come on.
This is another one somebody might go, what? I like the Pretenders, "Stop Your Sobbing," more than the Kinks version. It's just an excellent version. Chrissy Hines' voice on that one is where she kind of got us up subbing now, where she just kind of puts it all together like that. I just love the jangly guitar on it too. Just
that's a good one. I would definitely agree with you. That's better than the original. Or at least
okay, I'm ripping up my list. Randy, whatever Randy says, that's mine too. Damn.
Come on, Glenn.
Oh. Bring nothing but heat.
Yeah. Okay. My number 8, again, a classic. The first one of many Dylan songs that are going to appear on my list. The Byrds, "Mr. Tambourine Man." Just an incredible cover of that song. And just the way they changed it from that folky version that Dylan had into that electric folk rock thing, and really sent the whole world in a different direction musically.
Excellent pick. I'm going to go with my number 8, Leonard Skinner's "Call Me the Breeze," a J.J. Cale song.
Ah, yes.
I love the Skinner version, man. It rocks.
It does.
Classic Southern rock with those 3 guitars coming in. And I like Ronnie Van Zant's voice as well. They "Call Me the Breeze." Just a fantastic song, and Going to be on my list, number 8.
Excellent choice.
Nice.
Just exciting.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. Here I've got Joan Jett and the Blackheart doing "I Love Rock and Roll" over the Arrows, who originally had done it. I think that it is by far. Joan Jett owns that song now. It's her song. It's not their song anymore. So I put that here.
Yeah, that's a great one for sure.
I didn't know it was someone else's song. I thought it was Joan Jett's song.
It's by the Arrows originally.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know the Arrows song. That's a great pick. All right, Randy, what do you have to knock Glen over with here?
Well, this was an album called The Real Tom T. Hall Project. It's probably my favorite tribute album. And I went and looked on Spotify. It's not on Spotify because I was going to look for something on there. But
hold on a second. I gotta get my list back.
But Iris DeMent does his song "I Miss a Lot of Trains" on here. It was originally on his Tom T. Hall's Homecoming album from 1970, but she just, with that voice, and she's just, because she can be kind of angelic, but then she's got this piercing voice that you can hear at the back of the room sometimes, and that's how she sings that song. It's great.
Yeah, I love her voice. She can sing anything.
Love Iris.
I'm interested. I love her voice.
Yeah,
nice.
Me too. Okay, number 7. I go with another Dylan cover. Another one of my favorite guitar players of all time, Johnny Winter, off a Second Winter, Highway 61 Revisited. He just rocks that up. I mean, it's a great Dylan song, but Johnny just takes it to another level. It's rocking real good. Lots of great guitar. Nice. Johnny's great vocal. Highway 61.
Awesome. My number 7, I'm a huge John Fogerty fan, Creedence, but Ike and Tina Turner, Proud Mary. I'm taking that song. I love the version. Just takes it to a new level, and they do make it their own. Proud Mary, maybe it got stale for me, but I love so many more Creedence songs better than that. But I love what Ike and Tina Turner did to Proud Mary. Left a good job. That deep voice of Ike, and then Tina doing her thing. I think it's a great cover and totally unique. So that's my number 7.
Nice.
Proud Mary. All right, number 6, Brian.
Number 6. I've got something a little bit more traditional here. I've got Jimi Hendrix doing "Hey Joe" over the version, the one that was
good choice.
I guess maybe the Leaves would have been the one that would have been most well known before that. I know it wasn't written by them, but Jimi Hendrix, "Hey Joe."
Hey, that's a great one. Yeah,
all right.
You think of that as being his song, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it's his song now. I mean, but
All right, go ahead, Randy. Sorry.
Well, 1973 or 1972. I mean, Randy Newman had an album called "Sail Away," and he had one on there called "God's Song," which is pretty sarcastic. Well, Etta James does that song. This is a compilation album because I don't have there was an album called "Only a Fool." I don't have that one yet, but this is it's a good compilation that it's on there. She sings it more as a questioning thing, where he sings it more sarcastically. But it's a great song, and I love her version.
Wow, that's excellent. Randy's knocked out of the park. Okay, number 6. I'm going with one more obvious one, and then I promise the list is more interesting. Hendrix again, "All Along the Watchtower." Again, another great song off of John Wesley Harding that was just like a folky Dylan's track, and Hendrix just takes this and just blows it out of the water. And it's kind of the definitive version now, as far as I'm concerned. But "All Along the Watchtower" from Electric.
Yeah, that'll be appearing later on my list. So Glenn and I are thinking alike on some of these. My number 6 is a Springsteen song done by Patti Smith, "Because the Night." I think it's a wonderful cover. Bruce, of course, had it in his arsenal. Didn't release it on a studio album, and then Patti Smith got it, and it was like her biggest hit, I believe, as far as airplay and that type of thing. She does a wonderful job on it. So I'm going to go with that song at number 6.
Nice. Number 5, I've got Glenn. You'll be so happy here. I've got Janis Joplin, Me and Bobby McGee over Chris Christopherson's version. Not by
Really?
much though, because I actually like
get
Chris's
outta
version
here.
a
You
lot.
didn't suck up to
A lot. But
Well, you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
give you
suck up for
Janis's.
some reason. Is there something going on here? This is a joke.
Oh, baby. Well, I have to admit, that's going to appear
like
on my
candid
list.
camera. He's waiting to see my reaction. Alan Funk's going to come walking in.
Yeah,
You've been
you can't
punked,
argue with
Glenn.
that.
You've been punked.
Yeah.
What a
That's
great
awesome.
version.
Love that.
All right. My number 5, is that what we're on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5. It's from Bruce Springsteen, and it's the B-side of this single, Cover Me, Jersey Girl, to Tom Waits tune.
Oh, yeah.
It's done live. I think it sounds like it's in New Jersey because they're going crazy for it. And he did change a couple of lines in the Tom Waits song, like instead of the whores on 8th Avenue, he says the girls on 8th Avenue, or the girls on the avenue, or something like that.
Yeah.
But, and he did marry a Jersey girl because Patty, what's her name? Patty Scoffeye is from Jersey.
She is. Wow, good pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I really love the Springsteen version of that song as well.
Yeah. Number 5 for me, Randy. Randy will love me for this. Randy's off of Randy's favorite Lucinda Williams album, Down Where the Spirit Meets the Bone. She does an incredible cover of my favorite J.J. Cale song, Magnolia. It's the last song on the album. It's almost 10 minutes long. Yes. Great guitar from her great guitar player in her classic years. He's not with her anymore. A guy's name was Doug Pettibone, just an incredible guitar player. And Greg Lease, who plays on like everybody's albums. They trade off these guitar riffs, all their lines through this whole song. She just does an incredible, haunting version of it. Magnolia. Awesome.
Very nice. My number 5 is an old Fleetwood Mac song done by Santana, Black Magic Woman.
Oh, yeah.
I love both versions, but I specifically like what Santana does with that. Make it their own with the Latin flavor to it, and killer. Absolutely.
If you walk down the street and stop 10 people and say, who wrote that song? I'd say 9 out of 10 say Santana. No one says Peter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Peter Green's version is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But
it's the same basic arrangement as Santana. Latins it up a bit. And
a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. I'm down to number 4.
Number 4, I've got Linda Ronstadt doing Blue Bayou over Roy Orbison.
Oh, that's a good call.
I like Roy's, but Linda's voice is just absolutely beautiful. Can't deny it.
Jason,
we've been on since 10 o'clock this morning, Jason.
We're about halfway through, Jason. All right, Randy. That's a good one, Brian.
Halfway through.
My number 4 is an old song because came out in 1939.
Ooh.
And it was written for the movie The Wizard of Oz, and of course I'm talking about Over the Rainbow. And my favorite version was someone that just passed away not too long ago. It's Jerry Lee Lewis. It's off this album, Killer Country. He just does amazing things with the piano on that song and weaves his voice in there too. It came out in 1980, his version, but hey, let's listen to him and the piano on Over the Rainbow. It's just amazing.
Wow, awesome. I think that's one of the most gorgeous songs ever written.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number 4 for me is from Yes's debut album, and it's a Beatles cover. If you guys have ever heard them do Every Little Thing by the Beatles.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
I love the Yes version. It's freaking awesome. They do it pretty close to the original version, and then they yes it up a bit.
Yes it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Anderson's got a great voice.
Yeah, John Anderson sings it beautifully. It's a great cover.
Before I jump in, Jason has an his favorite. CCR doing I Heard It Through the Grapevine. I argue with that. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The old Motown hit by Gladys Knight and Marvin Gaye, and then, of course, CCR. My number 4 is a John Prine song done by Bonnie Raitt, Angel from Montgomery.
Oh, nice one.
He wrote it from the female perspective, and Bonnie singing it, of course, as a woman. Great song, and I just love her voice. It's a wonderful tune. So that's my number 4, Angel from Montgomery.
Okay, we're at number 3.
Yes.
I've got By the Skin of His Teeth. I'm going to give Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah over Leonard Cohen's version.
That is a close call.
Just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
It's at least as good as Leonard Cohen's.
Right. A lot of people think it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
Wow.
That's a good one.
All right. My number 3, I read an article in the Kansas City Star, and I was talking about this guy. They called him the best at Dylan covers because he was a singer-songwriter too, but every album he would put a Dylan song on there. He would cover a Dylan song. But he had it's a guy named Jimmy LaFave out of Oklahoma. He passed away last year or the year before. But he does on this. It was never released on an album, but this is kind of stuff that wasn't released on any albums and some live cuts. And it's called Trail, which is a fantastic album. But he does a version of I Threw It All Away, the Dylan tune.
Oh, nice.
From Nashville Skyline. And I guess, supposedly Nick Cave, that's his favorite song. Not the Jimmy LaFave version, but that's his favorite. That's a song he said he wished he would have written.
Wow.
But,
wow.
But this Jimmy LaFave does a great version of that on there. And I like both versions.
Hey, Sam.
Howdy, Sam St. John.
Hey, Sam.
Hope you're doing well. All right, Glenn, you're up.
Well, my number 3, Jason will be very happy with me. Heard It Through the Grapevine. CCR. I mean, what an incredible cover. That whole his guitar playing in that song, he just extends that song out and just plays incredibly. Yeah, they just do. That's my favorite version, and I love Marvin Gaye's and Gladys Knight's version. It's just a great song, but CCR is my favorite version.
Very good. My top 3 have all been mentioned already, believe it or not. My number 3 is Me and Bobby McGee, Janis Joplin. I'll take that any day over Chris Christopherson. I appreciate Chris's writing, but I've never been a fan of his voice for whatever reason. But Janis just ramps that baby up. It's a great version. So I'm taking it with me, number 3.
We're at number 2.
Yep, 2.
I've got it's Gary Jules and Michael Andrews. They do a cover of Mad World, which was originally by Tears for Fears. It's a really stripped back version that appears on a lot of movie soundtracks and trailer soundtracks, and it was the end song to Donnie Darko, if anybody's ever seen that. So great. You guys should check it out if you haven't checked it out. So really good version.
Excellent.
Nice.
Interesting.
I like them little sleepers that slide in there once in a while. Yeah.
All right. My number 2, I see Sam's on. He might not agree with me on this one. And that's Johnny Cash, his version of Tom Petty's Southern accents. I just love Johnny Cash's stripped down version of it. With Rick Rubin. A lot of people would have picked Hurt that he does, the 9 Inch Nails song that he does, but I really like what he did with Southern accents, the Tom Petty song. And actually, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers play on this album.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
That's a great pick too. I'm going with Sam will be more than aware of this. There's a young roots artist, plays guitar and basically sings. She's kind of popular, I guess, in the bluegrass kind of rootsy community. Her name is Sarah Jarose, and an album she has called Follow Me Down, and she does a Dylan cover of a song off Oh Mercy called Ring Them Bells, which is one of my favorite Dylan songs, and she just does the most beautiful version on it. She's got an incredible voice. Just absolutely check this woman out. She's amazing. Sarah Jarose.
I've heard the name, but I don't know the voice.
I've heard. Yeah, same thing. I've not.
Yeah, she's really good.
Jason's got one. Garth Brooks or Adele singing Bob Dylan's song, "Make You Feel My Love."
I could probably handle Garth Brooks doing it.
Not Adele.
I can't do Adele. Sorry, Jason.
50% there. Not bad.
It's a
My
talent.
number two. My number two is one that Glenn had earlier, and that is "With a Little Help from My Friends" by Joe Cocker. You talk about spinning it and making it your own, and just, that's a signature song for him, and it's a Beatles song, so a great cover. I love the Beatles of Sgt. Pepper, but Joe Cocker, man, that's legendary stuff.
Yeah.
There's his retort. Randy, we'll talk later.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are playing on that.
Great choice on Sarah Giroux. My sister opened for her. Wow. I knew Sam's sister was a musician. I didn't know she opened for her. Very nice. All right, so we're down to number one, right? Yep.
Yeah. Number one for me, Randy kind of mentioned it under his breath a little bit. I've got Johnny Cash from The Man Comes Around, American Recordings 4. I've got his version of Hurt over 9 Inch Nails, even though 9 Inch Nails version is fine, but Trent Reznor himself even said that song doesn't belong to him anymore. It belongs to Johnny Cash.
Wow,
So
that's pretty cool.
That ends the argument there. So
yeah, that's a good endorsement.
Yeah.
Before Randy jumps in, I want to give Sam's number one, and that's "Paradise" by the Cosmic Torpedoes.
Yes. There we go.
Very well done.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Randy.
All right. Well, my number one is an old song. Louis Armstrong did it in 1928, but it's kind of one of those standards that no one knows for sure who exactly wrote it. He credited it to Don Redman, and it's been also credited to Irving Mills. Cab Calloway did a good version of it. It's actually in my top 5 favorite songs of all time, and it's Bobby Blue Bland's version of St. James Infirmary.
Oh, wow.
With the
I thought you were going "What a Wonderful World."
Oh no. And the horns, the forlorn horns on there are just amazing. And then like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite songs.
That's a great song. Wow.
I want to write that down because I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
James
either,
Infirmary.
I have to admit.
Incredible song. I bet you that's been recorded 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Before Glenn goes, I want to put Gary Physical Format Rock and Roll in there. He's got "If Not For You" by Olivia, which I do like that song a lot. That's another Dylan song, right? Harrison did it.
Yeah.
Rusty Cage by Johnny Cash.
I don't know that song.
I don't know that song.
Yeah,
either.
the original one was by Soundgarden.
It's on this one too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm not familiar with that.
Originally by Soundgarden.
Interesting.
Yeah, us old guys, Glenn, we don't know that Soundgarden stuff. Though, like we
No.
All right, I'm sorry.
My number one. I got to go with my artist I just became obsessed with this year, David Bowie. And I was aware of this song before when I was just a casual fan, but on this great Station to Station album, he did a cover of a Nina Simone classic, "Wild as the Wind."
Nice choice.
And
Wow.
It's just the most beautiful song, and Bowie does a freaking awesome version of it. So, yeah, I've got it on a couple of live albums that he does, and on Station to Station. It's a beautiful song.
Nice, good pick. I love
Very
Nina.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, they don't call me Captain Obvious for a reason, for no reason. My number one is "All Along the Watchtower" by Jimi Hendrix. You talk about taking a Dylan song and just psychedelic sizing it to the max. Jimmy's got that. That'll always be my number one cover. When that comes on, I'm lost. It's a great period piece, late 60s. Love it. I knew it was high on Sam's list. Feel a Whole Lot Better by Tom Petty.
And "Senor" by Tim O'Brien almost made my list, Sam. I was real close.
Cool. Any honorable mentions that we overlooked that just didn't quite cut the mustard here? I have one. and that would be "Blinded by the Light" by Manfred Mann. It's a
Oh,
Springsteen
yeah.
song, but they
Yeah.
really that was a phenomenon when it came out. I mean, it really was. It was all over the charts, all over the radio, and that they made that their own, even though it was on Bruce's debut album, "Greetings from Asbury Park." Pretty good tune.
I was thinking about I know I mentioned it in our last video, but Willie Nelson's album Stardust, where he does all the classic songs, and the title song Stardust. I just love the way that version of that is just incredible. That, and the other one I want to mention is another one that Randy mentioned in the last video, was Somewhere, Tom Waits. I mean, from West Side Story. Tom Waits just does an incredible version, and that album Blue Valentine is really an album. It's more of a blues album focused on like people who like prostitutes who end up getting beat up, and just that whole seedy part of life, and people going to jail, and it's to start off with that song. It just kind of put the whole mood of that album. It's just incredible.
Gary agrees. #1 cover of all time. Yeah, it's hard to discount it.
I don't know.
The Birds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if you know the group Guadalcanal Diary.
Yes.
They do a great version of "And Your Bird Can Sing," the Beatles tune.
Oh wow!
Oh, I love that song.
They're a good band. Very jangle pop type of band from the late 80s.
Another old one, an old classic rock band that doesn't get a lot of love, is Spooky Tooth, and they did an incredible version of "I Am the Walrus."
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I didn't discover Spooky Tooth till like maybe 3 years ago, and I heard the song "The Mirror."
Yeah.
What a psychedelic, crazy song that was. That was great. I loved it. And it has Gary Wright. The lead singer is Gary Wright, the Dreamweaver guy.
Oh,
yeah. They were a good band.
Sam's Got Needles and Pins by Petty and Stevie.
Yeah.
Needles and Pins. I
like the Searchers version too.
I like the Searchers too. That's an underrated British Invasion or Australian, wherever they're from. The Searchers. Nice pick, Sam. The Ramones.
Yeah. Also mentioned Buffy St. Marie did a really good cover of Neil Young's "Helpless."
Oh, I haven't heard that either.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
CSN does a great job of Blackbird. Huh.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
This was great. I loved your guys' lists. Awesome.
Yeah, everybody had some awesome picks.
Yeah.
So very cool. We didn't have a lot of people in the chat. I think 5 is the most we have in here, but
I didn't even know we were live. So
yeah, we had 5, and maybe they'll watch it on the replay. John Mayer does an Unreal version of "EXO" by Beyonce. I don't know, Sam. I don't know if I'd love that or not. But,
I think as soon as you said Beyonce, I'm out.
I think as soon as you said Mayer, I was out.
Smokey and harmonica. Oh.
Anyway, that's a running joke. We actually have 7 in here now. We're gaining speed as we go.
There we go.
One that I forgot. I can't remember who. It was on some channel that said nobody's version of "Imagine" is any good, but I don't. There's actually who's the guitarist? Chet Atkins does a great acoustic version of "Imagine" that I think is really amazing.
Oh wow, that'd be cool. I'd like to hear that.
We have CGC Vinyl Guy just joined in.
If Doc was in here, he would pick Marilyn Manson doing a cover of "Tainted Love."
Every time he brings Marilyn Manson up,
he always brings Marilyn Manson to the table.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we talking about Marilyn Manson so much?
I just saw a documentary on what a creep Marilyn Manson is. He sexually abused that girl, Evan Rachel Ward, who's an actress.
Yeah,
just a horrible story. He's a cretin of a human being. So I can't stand anything about the guy. Anybody in the chat that wants to throw out some favorite covers, we'd be glad to entertain them and listen to them here.
You know, it might be cool to do too. I don't know if there's enough of them, but favorite tribute albums.
Yeah.
There was a tribute album, 2 Rooms, that was for Elton John. That was pretty good.
Yeah, there's
I liked it a lot. There was one Econonym for Led Zeppelin. Econonym. I'm trying to remember
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's the Neil Diamond tune that Deep Purple does?
Kentucky Woman.
Kentucky Woman.
That was good. Deep Purple did a lot of covers on their early albums. They did Help and We Can Work It Out. They did Kentucky Woman, Hush. They had a great cover. They had a hit of Hush, I guess. Who was the original guy? Billy Joel?
Yes, yeah.
No.
Hush was covered by a band, Coolest Shaker, later in the 90s. I think at 90s, early 2000s.
Looks like John Mayer's putting Gary to sleep a little bit there with the keys. Who else we got? John Denver did a great version of McCartney Junk. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
He just killing us.
Gary and Sam are going back and forth.
Oh, here we go. Fight. I'm on your side.
We got a John Mayer fan in Jason. So
there you go.
There you go.
Yes, he did, Christian. Sam's in a fighting mood.
Now he's backing up Christian's John Denver thing. Sorry. Gary, don't give in, man. Hang in there.
Gary, yeah, come on. Tell him how.
Come on, guys. Just stick to your guns and fight it out.
Come on. Be a man here.
That's a good point. Manfred Mann rarely did a bad rearrangement of other songs.
Yeah.
Bob Lazarus,
Mighty Quinn. Somebody could have had Mighty Quinn on there too for Manfred Mann.
Yeah. There you go, Glenn, Randy, Bob Lazarus.
Sports Beat. Any plans to start up again?
Well, we didn't get enough viewers, or we would have kept it up. I mean,
if the Eagles win a Super Bowl, we'll probably be doing it again.
Yeah, I'll bring it back an Eagle version of.
The Animals did a cover of "It's All Over Now, Baby Blue" by Bob Dylan. That was really good too, and on one of their 1970s albums that they had.
Wow.
It was good.
Of course, House of the Rising Sun that they did as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
this is a good call.
Good band.
Although it's the problem with House of the Rising Sun is it's a traditional. No one knows who wrote it, so I guess it's considered a cover, isn't it? But,
I know Glen's a fan. I think
I love that Chrissy Hind album.
Chrissy Hind.
Yeah, I could have picked something off of that.
Definitely. Gary and I have thrown fists. Settle down, boys.
Okay, thrown fists.
Frigid Pink, House of the Rising Sun. Yeah.
Well, even Dylan's version of House of the Rising Sun off his first album.
Hollies did an album of Bob Dylan songs. I don't know if it was any good.
Yeah, it was okay.
I like the Hollies, but that's a different.
It didn't have much.
Dylan.
Odetta did a cover or an album of all covers of Dylan songs. Dylan songs. It was pretty good.
Who did that?
Odetta.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good to hear. I love Odetta. I got to meet Odetta at a folk festival.
I guess you could say Nirvana did their cover of "Man Who Sold the World" on their live.
Yeah,
Unplugged.
that's a pretty big cover for sure.
Gary raises an interesting point here. Trust me, I think Mayer is a snore fest, but he gets his share of hot chicks. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I hold against him is he's getting all the nubiles.
Yeah, we're just all jealous of him. Yeah.
Definitely jealousy runs supreme.
Yeah.
Got a laundry list of
he just can't keep them. Yeah, he just can't keep them. Yeah.
No.
Like Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe he doesn't want to keep them. That could be
He's a conquest guy. He says he just moves on.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going on to Danica Patrick or whoever it is next. I admire the skill.
Muskrat Love.
Oh, there you go. Good shot, Sam. I appreciate that. He knows I'm an America fan, and he picks on their weakest tune.
Actually, they're one of those bubblegum songs. Sugar, Sugar. Wilson Pickett does a great version of Sugar, Sugar.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I'd like to hear that.
And how about Wilson Pickett's version? Is it Wilson Pickett who does Hey Jude? Or is that
Wilson Pickett?
Wilson Pickett, yeah, which has Dwayne Allman playing guitar on.
Then Fiona Apple did a cover of "Across the Universe" for the Pleasantville soundtrack.
Oh,
yeah.
Disturbed did a version of "Sound of Silence," but I don't think it was better. It's hard to improve on that Simon and Garfunkel classic.
Yeah.
Mountain did a whole CD of Dylan Masters of War.
I didn't
track with Ozzy. Huh.
Oh, I forgot one. I should have had "With God on Our Side" by the Neville Brothers with Aaron Neville saying on it.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. And
I love
actually,
that
Mountain on Mountain's first album was "Songs for an Imaginary Western," which is a Jack Bruce song.
Ah,
Great song.
huh.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, it's really interesting to find out that a song that you thought was originally by an artist is somebody else. Like, you know, Heart had that hit Alone back in the early 90s, and it was done by a band called I-10 in the early 80s.
Oh, really?
I never knew that. I'm like, wow, I always thought it was Heart's song all along.
Yeah, I'm just hearing this for the first time. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying earlier with Santana and Black Magic Woman,
Right,
90%
exactly.
of the world thinks that's a Santana song.
Yeah. All right. I guess we're good to go. Thanks, guys, for joining me on this. It was a lot of fun.
I got to eat and go CD hunting for one last time before I leave.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
We expect to see them on your the next
you
video.
will.
Okay. All right. Let me go. One more comment. What do we have? Twist
Yeah.
and shout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beals that on for sure.
That's a good one, Jason.
Yeah.
All right, so please check out the guys, Brian, Massey's Maine Entertainment, Randall Nelson, Glen Kellaway from the Basement. All their links in the description below. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week with something different. Check out our CD exchange, by the way, which will drop tomorrow. CD exchange number 6, where we all recommend an album that nobody's heard and react to it, review it. Discover new music. That's what we've been doing the last 6 weeks. Our 6th episode drops tomorrow. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. Everybody have a great weekend. We will see you next week. Take care,
Take
guys.
care, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
See ya.